Hey guys, it's Eric with the Miller Park Minute, where we're throwing strikes, getting likes, hitting dingers, getting listeners. Back again with another episode. Yes, this is your only daily Brewers podcast. It's the only one on the internet I have searched. We do our show every day. It's recorded the night before and then airs at 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. So check us out. We also do live sessions every Saturday night at about 4 o'clock Central Standard Time in that vicinity. So feel free to join in, join the conversation. I would love to hear from you. If you leave a comment, I always try and read and respond to people's comments. So thank you for that. Those who participate, I have had quite a few this week already. So want a quick mention, SeatGeek. The code is Miller Park Minute. Get $20 off when you purchase tickets with SeatGeek code Miller Park Minute on your first order. All right, back into the regular show. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. If you're watching this show on any podcast platform, they have an option to rate and review. Please do that. We appreciate it. Everyone here at the Miller Park Minute definitely appreciates your viewership and participation in the show. So thank you guys for that. So today's episode is entitled "Still in the World Series Window?" ? Are we still in the World Series window? I decided to think about this, talk about this, maybe break this down in depth, just after, kind of hearing and seeing the general soup that is Facebook and Twitter's reactions to just things that have been said and stuff going on. And then later in the episode, we'll go around the league and we'll talk about different things from around Major League Baseball, cover any other news and notes that the Brewers have. And we'll talk about our friends over at brewerfanatic.com, of course. All right. That being said, okay. So the fan reaction has been pretty. There's a lot of animosity right now going on with the Brewers and the fans and the ownership and stuff like that. And I get it. I mean, I've been there. You probably think this podcast is bipolar, or I'm bipolar by watching this show. No offense to anyone who's bipolar. But one day I'm talking positive about the crew and the next I'm in the negative. And that's, I think, what we go through as fans. This is a fan podcast, guys. I am 100% a fan. I don't have a journalism background. My background's in cinematography, actually. So, but if you check these boxes and you check these things off and you go back and forth, I mean, that's okay. That's what we're all about here at the Miller Park Minute. I allow waffling, and I'm waffling. But right now, in the moment, I'm more excited for baseball than anything. I think we all are. I've been watching MLB Network. I've been watching tweets all day, trade rumors, everything, day in, day out. I listen to every other podcast that talks about baseball, from Effectively Wild, Starting Nine, Locked On podcast. I still listen to him. I may have dissed him a lot of times on my show, but I still listen to him because he has some insights and some different things to say. And I appreciate the insights. I mean, I want to hear all sides of this coin here. And it's about sports. It's about what we love. I think that's the biggest thing. That being said, I don't think people are reacting in the appropriate light to a news story. That's not really a story. I think it was more of a misspeak on Freddie's part. Maybe, or not Freddie, I'm sorry, on Willie's part. I think Willie understood the question is, are they talking about the contract extension right now? And with everything going on right now, they're ramping up. He's working out, getting ready for the World Baseball Classic, which he's going to try and participate in. I just don't think they're at that stage. They're not spending continued time. I mentioned this in yesterday's podcast. They're not spending that continued time. It's not like they see him every day, day in and day out. They're in the office. They're doing these things. They don't call him on the phone, So I don't think we need to panic about this not signing him. It doesn't mean that, hey, it's a throwaway Mark Antanasio and Arnold don't want to do anything. They don't want to continue this success that we've had with these guys. They don't want to lock potentially a young, good shortstop up for cheap. I don't think that's what it is. I think it was simply a misspeak. And I'm going to keep saying this until the message gets across. It was a misspeak. He said maybe it's not happening right at this moment. That doesn't mean he's not going to engage. They're not going to engage him, because the reality of the nature of the beast here is shortstops are getting more expensive. Look at what they spent on Dansby Swanson. He was the cheapest shortstop to sign this year, and he still went for a couple hundred. So I don't know exact number, and I forgot what he signed for, but I think it was pretty up there. And that's what's going on right now in baseball. Everybody's signing a contract for more money, and right now we just need to try and get these guys to play good for us, and also get that opportunity to first make sure that they're for real. I mean, we've had a couple good seasons with him, but let's ride him out. We got some time before he becomes free agent. Let's ride out that time. And I think same can be said for pitchers. You don't know what to expect from Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff. I think their pedigree and where they are shows that they're going to be great, but we don't know. So, of course, I'd love to extend all of these guys. I've mentioned that 100 times. I think Matt Arnold is going to be judged on that. And I think that's going to determine a lot of people's feelings for our team, where we are, where we stand right now. But at the end of the day, I can't say that there's a definitive answer right now that says, oh, we're just about the prospects. We're, might as well trade them all now. Guys, that's where the question of this video, are we still in the window? I think looking at the team that we have on paper and looking at everything that the Butcher has talked about in the Butcher's videos, the Butcher's done a lot of breakdown on this. And I appreciate that, because I don't necessarily always do the breakdowns. I like to do my predictions, throw out my wild opinions here and there. But at the end of the day, I don't always break down every single player and look at the depth and the actual numbers. I do look at numbers. I've said 100 times I don't talk about the numbers because I'm not a stats guy. I'm not Dominic Catronian where I can't just pull numbers out of my head. I mean, I can remember certain numbers and certain stats. Yeah, I think we all can. But I can't remember them all. So, and that's what impresses me about these guys that can remember stats and queue up stats. I mean, I can queue up stats on my computer and talk about them as I go, but I always like to just go by gut reaction too. And I know when I know somebody's good, I know somebody's good because I know baseball and I follow baseball and I've been watching and paying attention for my whole life, basically. That's why I'm fortunate to live so close to the city that houses our home team. I also live in a city that houses a baseball team called the Dock Spiders. So part of the Northwoods League, which was really fun. I worked for them for a season. But that being said, I think one of the big things here about the Brewers right now in this window, and yes, we are still in this window, as much as we fell out of contention last year, we're still in a playoff window. And that playoff window isn't closing anytime soon. I mean, the big three are still here. You still got Christian Yelich. You still have an all-star closer. You now added an all-star catcher. You've got an Aaron Ashby who's locked up. You've got a prospect level Ethan Small who may or may not break the major league roster now with the depth that we've added. You have a slew of infielders. Owen Miller, gotta love those gaffs. Gaff of the day, baby. Owen Miller, you've got Willie Urias. So, okay, and I want to get over this. Urias is the quality of a Brian Anderson, who we just added. So you got two quality third base infield guys. You got Rowdy Tellez, who can hit the snot out of the ball and probably will hit more effectively this year than he did last. He's the biggest player for an upswing if I've ever seen one. I'm going to give 5 more predictions, 5 more things I think. I think we're going to go numbers. I'm going to go numbers. This is going to be my way early predictions for some of these things. So I'm going to rank some players live on the spot tonight, just because I haven't done a lot. And Saturday or Sunday's episode, we're going to do another ranking. We're going to have another special guest. But yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of these guys that are, and you still got a Jesse Winker in the outfield. You got Christian Yelich in the outfield. You got Tyrone Taylor, Garrett Mitchell. Just a lot of strength in this young core lineup. And the big 3, there's no team out there that has 3 pitchers like that. 3 young pitchers, I mean, Freddie Peralta throws no-hit stuff. Corbin Burns has already got a no-hitter, and he's a Cy Young. Brandon Woodruff, outside of Reynolds last year, I think had the potential to have a great season, and he came back and showed that. So this window hasn't closed, and I don't think it's going to close. We have these guys, and I don't think they're in a hurry to close these guys because I think they know that to close these guys, to trade these guys, because if you trade them, that window closes. You shut that window. Why would you shut off the tap when you're probably making more money on merchandise, postseason merchandise? You got this stuff going on. You got the Players Weekend. City Connect. It used to be called Players Weekend. But you've got these alternative jerseys. You've got this thing that you're selling now, and you're just adding to that revenue pile because you're in a good window. And last year, I'm sure they made good money. I mean, those numbers will come out in a month or so, and we'll talk about them because I always like to talk about those numbers. It's where I get to point to that we're cheap. But at the same time, I'm going to say that right now that doesn't matter because we have the window to close in on this World Series, to add a championship, and then what happens from there. Let's just get to the first one and then worry about every season after that. If we could get to the first one in the next 2 years, all bets are off. Who knows what they do at that point? Maybe they make Corbin Burns a second franchise player just because Corbin Burns would be a great franchise player. But let's get the first one. And we can start it this year. I mean, look at the Phillies. The Phillies went all the way to the World Series on the back of a wild card berth. The Phillies and us were in contention for the same spot. The same spot. We didn't lose out by that much last year, guys. We were just a few games short. So this window is still here. It's still wide open. They just need to cash it. They just need to get in. And Freddie Peralta healthy all season. Brandon Woodruff healthy all season. And Corbin Burns, even if there's a couple minor injuries down the road, gives us a really good chance. Plus, you add a Wade Miley. You already got an Eric Lauer. You have Adrian Hauser, Small, Ashby, and this Wilson guy, wherever position he slots into. Again, we're preseason. We're before even the spring training. We don't know where a single one of these players is going to play, how they're going to look. We started as hot as we've ever started last year. And that was pretty much this ball club with a couple minor adds and changes. You lose a Hunter Renfroe, you gain a Jesse Winker. You lose Colton Wong, you gain a Abraham Toro and Jesse Winker. And, you get a catcher in William Contreras that is an all-star and can DH. And And if Keston comes back to form, I mean, there's a lot of upside and a lot of positives that we got coming here for this Milwaukee Brewers ball club in the 2023 season. And I don't want to deny it, and I don't want to not talk about it. I mean, I think these are huge things that we've got going right now. Right now, there is a lot of things going for us. And I don't want to see him trade it away. I don't want to see him get rid of it, because I think that's just not good, not fun. I mean, we're on the cusp of greatness. I mean, 4 or 5 playoff seasons in a row. That's never happened in franchise history. And it's okay to want more, guys. I'm not saying that's not okay to want more. I get what you're saying by wanting these stars to be signed and to be angry that they're not signed yet. But at the same time, isn't that a great problem to have? I mean, for years and years as Brewers fans, we've been talking about signing, even Lucroy, back in Lucroy days, we wanted to extend him. The only player we really extended at that time was Ryan Braun. And half the fan base loves him and half the fan base hates him. So, I mean, that's that in and of itself is funny. And it's about the same with Christian Yelich right now. I can tell you that Christian Yelich is probably, Bart Winkler said this the other day, and I laughed. Who are you going to buy if you're going to buy your kid a jersey? Are you going to buy Christian Yelich? No, everybody's got Christian Yelich. Are you going to buy Willie Adames? Yeah, because that's the popular guy. Corbin Burns isn't really locked up. Freddie Peralta's kind of locked up. So he made a very solid point in that. I personally would buy anybody and everybody because I just like to gamble and spend my money on jerseys, I guess. But yeah, I mean, who are you getting behind? Who's your guy right now? Drop that in the comments below. Tell me your guy. Tell me your player. I'm going to say I like them all. Corbin Burns has to be my favorite. Devin Williams is a close second. Then Willie Adames. And then I would go to Rowdy probably. There's some cool Rowdy shirts too. Rowdy bomb shirts. Breaking Tees has those. Go over to Breaking Tees, check out those t-shirts. I just saw, actually, while I'm on this, I just saw that Baseballism did a Brewers reversible hoodie collab. It's like $85. It's really expensive, but it's cool nonetheless. So if you like Brewers merch, that was just texted to me a couple days ago. So check that out, guys. But that being said, this window, this is my final spot on it. I actually am in a place, and I'm gonna bring out the littlest things. The amount of things that you can collect right now of our actual team. I'm just sitting here looking, and we got a Brandon Woodruff All-Star bobblehead. Season seat holder giveaway. How many years has it been since we've given out all current player bobbleheads? And this year they've really cut back the bobbleheads and stuff like that. But like, we actually have bobbleheads of Freddie Peralta, Corbin Burns. That's Josh Hader, so that's not current. But we have like the current team: Brandon Woodruff, Christian Yelich. Adames was given away in the Santa Claus bobblehead. So if you have one of those and you want to sell it, hit me up. I'm using this for personal gain. Sorry. But yeah, and I'm in this spot where I say this because I'm really concerned about the mentality of where our fans are coming from. There seems to be this trade now mentality. Like, trade them now, get our farm system really good because we want to have a beefed up farm system. Well, there's good pros and cons to that too. Trade now versus later. Why I think we keep them and ride them out is if you're going to get prospects, there's no guarantee the prospects turn around and become good players. I mean, we have Jackson Churio. He's going to be number 3, but there's no guarantee that you race him to the majors and he comes out and he's a flash of lightning. Keston Hiura right now we're battling to see if Keston Hiura is going to be a good long-term guy. I like Keston. I've liked Keston, but at the same time, it's hit and miss with these guys if they roll for a long time. Corey Ray was a recent example. Corey Ray just never got good and never panned out. And he was the top prospect at one point. So I'm not in a light to rush a guy like Jackson Churio. I want to see some of these outfielders first. I mean, it's not like our farm system is that great, and I don't think building a farm system has ever really panned out, with the exception of like the JJ Hardy, Ricky Weeks, Luke Croy, Giovanni Gallardo, that class of guys, Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder. That's the last good class we had, and I don't want to see us give away a run for that potential to happen, because we were only a couple games out, guys. I think we're at this cliff as Brewers fans, and I think that everyone's just ready to jump off and back into the suck. And I'm still up here on the edge saying, no, come back, guys, come on. This is my come back off the edge. And I mentioned in an interview the other day, I said, hey, you talked me off the ledge because I was about to go off the ledge with Josh Hader trade, and I'm not there. I'm constantly brought to the point where I'm annoyed enough with the team, and I feel like a lot of us are. So that being said, let's come back here. Let's enjoy baseball now. Let's enjoy the now, enjoy the moment, and enjoy what this team has to offer, because we are still in that window. Until Corbin Burns is gone, Woody is gone, and Willie Adames are gone, we're still in that window. If they trade them all, then yeah, we can be pissed off and think we suck. But for right now, let's enjoy it. Let's really enjoy it. All right, guys. That's what I've got on the Brew Crew today. Not a real lot of stories on anything really going on. I'm going to hop over to my boys at brewerfanatic.com, and we're going to take a look at what they're chatting about. Brewerfanatic.com is a website that I am affiliated with. You can go over there and see this beautiful mug. I do videos for them. I do not do articles. I don't write stuff. So if you ever expect to see anything written by me or see anything written by me, let me know, because I haven't written anything in years and probably won't. So 5 best second baseman in Brewers history. They break down 54 years of Brewers history. I'm not going to spoil the article. I'll let you read these. They talk about Brian Anderson, veteran third base, and outfielder Brian Anderson. Bevy of optionless wonders signals likely fringe addition to 40-man roster. So this basically talks about Bryce Wilson, Gus Varland, John Singleton, Gaston, Javi Guerra, Joel Payamps. Even if you wanted to get creative, send players like Tyrone Taylor and Adrian Hauser down to the minors. Okay, so basically this says there's a bunch of guys on our team that are out of options. So good read, worth the read. Talk about the zips. I haven't really gotten too deep into the zips. I've been meaning to just sit down and read it, and I just haven't had the spare time lately, just with everything going on with trying to schedule a daily recording and to do this. Just gets hard to sit down and read all the articles. That's why I like podcasts. That's why I wish there was more podcasts, and that's why I do this podcast, because there aren't podcasts out there. So I hop on and I put out a podcast. So that's why I am here, because there wasn't the information, and now I am trying to introduce the information to the rest of us, go check out brewfanatic.com. Jump in the forums. I just posted a video to their website. Just the Catronio interview. If you've already seen it, you don't need to go over there. But I do episodes for them as well. I haven't posted one this week, so that'll probably come up in tomorrow's agenda. Really, the main stories are all the hot stove and cold brews. A lot of replay videos. Go back and watch those. Good stuff on there. But we are going to go around the Major League. This is new function, new feature of the podcast. Once a day, every day. I love baseball, guys. And if you don't follow the other stuff, this is kind of just news and notes from around the league and other things that I find interesting about baseball. So, top story, Aroldis Chapman, former Red, former Cub, former Yankee. His deal looks to be official. There's an article on which team is likely to go worst to first, and they're saying the Kansas City Royals, who just Boston Red Sox, Pittsburgh Pirates, Colorado Rockies, these are all candidates. Washington Nationals, Oakland A's, oh God. Yeah. Okay, that's funny. Mariners added La Stella official on a one-year deal. Cueto brings flair to the Miami Marlins. So Cueto is coming aboard. That's official. A lot of players are getting a jump on spring. With the World Baseball Classic happening, guys, people are getting a jump on it. I saw today that a couple of games for the World Baseball Classic are already starting to sell out. So it looks like Pool A is going to be the Chinese, Netherlands, Cuba, Italy, and Panama. Pool B is going to be Japan, Korea, Australia, China, Czech Republic. And then Pool C is USA, Mexico, Colombia, Canada, Great Britain, Pool D is Puerto Rico, Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Israel, and Nicaragua. So a lot of these teams, Great Britain is a first-time team. I think Nicaragua might be as well. So a lot of these teams are first-time teams. It's really cool because these games are happening in Miami Stadium. So, and it's a lot, primarily Major League talent, but there are guys from other countries that play on this. So you'll get to see Major League stars, and that's really fun. Tickets are available. A couple of rounds are already sold out. But that's really exciting. I like the World Baseball Classic. It's fun to watch. I'm going to talk about it probably every day. I'll probably watch the games and then do recaps. So we're also going to cover any news from trade rumors. So we will see what trade rumors has got to say. Cubs outright Mark Leiter Jr. Mariners. La Stella is on the top there. And this is the time where everybody's starting to do breakdowns because there is nothing news-wise. Aroldis Chapman, we already talked about. Reds outright Matt Reynolds. Giants Ronald Guzman agreed to a minor league deal. And this is when all the minor league deals happen too. Tigers hire Tim Federosi as catching coach. Adam Warren announces retirement. I was like, Adam Wainwright's retiring? But Marlins designate Daniel Castellano for assignments. Or else sign Reed Garrett to a minor league deal. Tommy Pham is going to the Mets, I believe. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. We circled back to where we were yesterday when we finished this. So the final piece that I want to talk about, if you guys watch MLB Network, which I do, I have it as a part of my cable subscription. It's on my regular channels. I didn't pay any extra for it. They've got some great shows. Mad Dog Chris Russo, he's on it every afternoon. Hot Stove's got Matt Vasgersian and Harold Reynolds. Sorry, I think I said Reigns. But they do a series right now, and it's part of their like the rankings and everything they do. They do a series called Top 10 right now, and they rank the top 10 at each position. So right now they did third baseman. We obviously don't have a third baseman on that list, but I'm going to run down the top 5. There was some debate on Twitter about this, and debate as fans about this, and I love this because this is one of those shows that causes debate. Even the hosts, Brian Kinney and the Shredder, they all have different opinions. Everybody's got a different opinion in the tops, and they rank them differently and hold them in different regards due to different things. So what they said is the top third baseman, number 5, Nolan Arenado, which is the one that everybody questioned, Rafael Devers, Austin Riley, Jose Ramirez, and Machado is who they got at number 1. And I think that's right where they should be. I don't think that's wrong, actually. I wouldn't rank any one of those guys higher than the next. But for giggles, let's go down and see. So what did we say? We said Nolan Arenado. So number 6 is Alex Bregman. Number 7 is Justin Turner. Number 8 is Max Muncy, Yandy Diaz, DJ LeMahieu. Round out the list. I think we're right in the ballpark with all of those. I mean, I don't like Nolan Arenado any more than I like any of those other ones, and he's a Cardinal, so that's also a big strike on my list. That's where I say Freddie Freeman is better than Paul Goldschmidt, just because Freddie Freeman no longer plays for the Braves, who he was like our bane of our existence when he was a Brave, but now that he's on the Dodgers, we see him less, and I kind of have a soft spot for the Dodgers because it's just like a super team out there. Just being honest, even though they eliminated us in 2018, I still kind of like them. But yeah, and Machado right now is playing hot because he's also got this ability to opt out if he wants to, and he could go recash in on this contract that he already signed, and he could make a bunch more money. So, especially coming out of the contract that he had. So we've covered around the league. We talked World Baseball Classic, guys. We talked why the Brewers are still in their window. Just to recap everything we talked about Aroldis Chapman. There is not much more to be said right now about Milwaukee Brewers baseball, about baseball around the league. Just rather slow in the news department, all in all. And that's why I come at you with these episodes. We're going to start doing predictions. Oh, I did mention I was going to do a prediction at the end of this video. So I'm going to flip the script on what I think the top of this NL Central looks like this year. I am going Brewers, Cubs, Cards, and then I say from there down it goes Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. So that is my flip on the predictions. I am going to predict that our breakout star is actually going to be Garrett Mitchell. I think Rowdy's going to have a nice season. I think he's going to have one for the ages. And I definitely think that, the big three are going to be the big three pitchers. there's gonna be a slew of all-stars, guys. I'm gonna do a full-out prediction special. It's gonna be like an hour long. But these are my early predictions, so they may change and evolve over time. It just depends on really kind of gut. I always go by gut when I do predictions. Some hit, some miss. I've called some things right. I've called some things wrong over the years. I'm a fan. I'm not a perfectionist, so it is what it is, guys. Nothing wild like the McAlvey 23 things about 2023 either. We're not doing that. Maybe I'll throw some random funny ones in there, but probably not. All right, guys, that's all I got tonight. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for being a part of the Miller Park Minute day in and day out. I am still waiting for my first person to jump on the podcast with me live. So you still have an opportunity to do it. Obviously, today's episode didn't include that. So I'll be back again recording tomorrow night. If you are listening to this during the day and you're like, hey, I'd actually like to talk baseball with Eric, I think that's fun. Hop on over, go over to Miller Minute on Twitter, or you can join the Facebook group, the Miller Park Minute and the Milwaukee Brewers is the name of that. You can also hunt me out on Facebook. Eric Agnew is the name. It's right up here in the corner. Instagram, wherever you want to, just DM me. We'll talk about it. We'll get you on. Or you can just jump on live off the StreamYard link that I am going to be posting. All it requires is a webcam and a microphone, and then I can hear and talk to you live as we record. So, guys, Eric Agnew signing off tonight. Thank you so much. You guys have a great rest of your night, and as always, go Brew Crew.
Thank you for watching the Miller Park Minute. Go Brewers!